All right. I want to say GM to everybody today, but I guess it's good afternoon or good evening GM for depending on what time you're tuning in for. But this is a rare interview episode of the Alpha Mint Moon Lounge stage, and I am super pumped to be joined by the man of the hour from the Bad Bunnies fame, Mr. Can Opener, and he's going to be joined with us with Free Market as always. We're going to be doing a little bit of a show here for you today. But welcome to AlphaMint.
Yeah, thanks, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, this is super exciting, and I kind of told you before, but the Moon Loungers are bullish on the bunnies, and it's
Nice.
ever since they've dropped, we've been in on them. So it's super exciting to have you here. I know that there's a bunch of us that were really looking forward to this, and I'm glad that we could coordinate it. You were all the way in Sydney, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right. That's right. I think the first time that you put to me was 1:30 in the morning
Yeah.
over here, and I went, yeah, look, So yeah, so look, there's yeah, hopefully a next time we can do your morning, and certainly around the 11 p.m. mark. I'm still with it.
Yeah.
After midnight, less so.
Hey, I'm on the same boat as you. Like my bedtime is about 9:30, 10 o'clock. I think I actually was hanging out in voice chat the other night and fell asleep while we were on the
Oh,
call. So,
jeez. Yeah, yeah, no worries, no worries.
free market, how you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I love Bad Bunnies. This is something that our resident alpha hunter Lucas, I think, turned everybody onto. He was super bullish on bunnies. He got everybody else into it, and when bunnies launched, it was a pretty different world, I would say. You guys kind of launched into the teeth of the previous bull market. Um,
Yep.
at the time, your supply was considered pretty low supply. I think that's almost become the trend now, but back then it was everything was 10,000 PFP. You guys came in at 5,000 if I'm correct, right?
Yep,
5,000.
five and a half.
Yep. And it was a .04 mint. You minted out fast. Tell us about that day. Tell us how you guys did that day.
Look, I mean, it's was utter insanity.
Oh, no
And
doubt.
look, we started out at 0.055 was the price, and in this land, it's utterly arbitrary. You basically at the time you're like going, okay, whoever just launched and they did 0.07, to me that's far too expensive. We'll do 5.5 because we got like 5,500. And the market's always shifting. You got to have your kind of ear to the ground. You got to know what to do and when to do it. And so we launched with that, and we had people in excited. But first night, launch night, there was like 150 sold, and we're like, man, okay. So I just said to the other team members, Poopley, who's my brother, and B Dub, who may as well be my brother since we've known each other since we were five. I just said we're going to do a cool cats. We're dropping the price in half because they started at 0.04, and not much happened. They dropped it to 0.02 and sold out in a day. And then history repeating, we went through we kind of did what we had to do. Took us a few hours to get it done, to change the contract and get our ducks in a row, and hit the button and told everyone, and it just took off. And I remember being in bed at midnight and going, oh shit, it's pumping. Like it's very definitely pumping, and jumping into other discords. The chat was all Bad Bunnies, and then I got a call at 2 a.m., which was B Dub, and he said, "We're about to sell out."
Oh my god.
And I went, "Oh, okay, sweet." So yeah, so it was kind of insane.
So I take it not a lot of sleeping got done that night.
Oh my god, that first week was just ridiculous. Like, uh, and unless you go through it, it's just hard to. There's nothing like that. You can have a job and have a project on, and have deliverables and deadlines and whatever, but somehow this is that times 100. I think it's the front facing with the community. that does
Yep.
it is that you're completely keyed into what people are saying, what they want, what they're expecting, and then you're responding to it. And I think that's probably it. It's almost like if the Olympics were put on and the bosses of the Olympics were in a Discord with everyone that had bought tickets. It would be a very different scenario for them, but they have a wall between them, and I think that's kind of something to do with the NFT land. This no walls.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting like almost chills just hearing about that because it just sounds like so much fun and such an exciting time. I mean, you guys launched at the perfect time about, well, would you remember the exact date? I'm seeing about 2 months ago.
Yeah. So that's the thing, right? 15th of September.
15th of September. Yeah. So
Uh,
that was like peak NFT bull run.
yeah. And so look, this is the thing, as we kind of say, like I say to the team, is that we're very definitely in a bear market now. Apart from all the kind of like confluence of events, like bear market, gas is. I mean, I've just never seen anything. The other day, $517 it wanted from me, and you just hit reject. And yeah, so I kind of say to the team, it's like, okay, like we can complain about a bull market, a bear market right now, and everything that's wrong, but you could not have had a better launch. Gas was $30 max.
Amazing.
So you take your positives and then you deal with the difficulties thereafter. You remind yourself, like, yeah, we were very lucky, so hold on to that.
Yeah, and how was it like? So I don't want to say shortly thereafter, but I guess towards the end of mid to end of October, the volume started dropping off on a lot of projects. Some of the shit coins started going crazy, driving the gas up, as you kind of just referred to, and NFTs really
Yeah.
took a back seat in the grand scheme of things, and obviously the floor of a lot of projects got just absolutely decimated. But you guys seem to keep your head down, your nose to the grindstone, and just keep working. And looking at the updated roadmap that you have coming out, it's definitely going to pay dividends for you guys. But what was kind of the mood, the mentality going on there, especially between you and the community and your Discord and all of that.
Yeah, I suppose what's interesting about it is that, like if you look at it, we hit point, we hit point four floor, whatever it was, I guess a month or something, 5 weeks or whatever, whenever the bear market hit, we were at point four floor,
Mm-hmm.
which then dropped to like about, I don't know, like settled at around 0.35 or something. Then the bear market really hit. Like it's like, okay, no, that's not an anomaly. It's like we're very much in a bear market, and we sat around 0.25 for like a while, and we're like, this is good. This is steady. And then it kind of dropped. It dropped quite a bit, and we're kind of back up. And it's the same for so many projects. And if anyone, I mean, all of you guys are just going to know. Prior to this, my inbox, um, what 60 offers a day on all the NFTs that I have
Yeah.
from bots.
Yep.
I mean, I'm lucky if I get one offer on a cool cat. I've disclosure, I have one cool cat.
Yeah.
So I'm not some, I had two and one got sniped when they kind of mooned to when they like hit 1 ETH overnight, all of a sudden. But like it's just like it's so funny to at least just kind of acknowledge that. Is you just go, I used to get probably 15 offers a day on one cool cat, and now it's one every 3 days, probably. So,
That's what
yeah,
that's a reason I've always said I think floor price is such a terrible metric
yeah,
to judge
terrible.
a project by, because if you look at the wall thickness and how many bunnies are left on the floor and all that type of stuff, and then we talk about community a lot, because Bad Bunnies has a great community. They have a great Discord, and these are the things that like keep you through the tougher
Totally.
period. So I think that the floor, you look at it, it's shocking, but it really is a bad metric for what's going on. If people don't know, right before the bear market, a punk swept about 50, if I remember, Bad Bunnies
Yep.
correctly. I remember
Yep.
I actually have the Bad Bunny bot on my phone and on my watch, and it was like 5 a.m. in New York. It just started going mad, like buzzing, 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 and it woke me up. And that's the other thing. Look at who owns these things.
Exactly.
If you see what type of people bought, how many they own, and the type of holders that they are, it really paints a much different picture. And I think that's why we're still so bullish about your project.
And look, this, I mean, that is the thing, isn't it? And which is why I think if you ask about the floor price on our Discord, you just get swamped with our bot posting gifs about where we're going. We don't need floors,
I love it.
and whatever. It's a ridiculous metric. And to your point just there, is all of these guys like that, guys and girls like that. Are all still holding. Like the ones that have jumped in and bought 50 and 70 and whatever, they still hold 50, they still hold 70, like haven't sold any. So it's not a metric that's easy to like determine for your average person. So it's probably a good thing to kind of discuss here, and I'm glad you raised it.
Yeah, I mean, another thing that makes me bullish about your project too, and I'm gonna have to pick up a couple of these, is just that like we talk a lot about this on the morning show about just different projects we're looking at, and it's pretty casual, but it's kind of got to pass the profile picture test for me. It's great to have
Totally.
a roadmap. It's great to have all of these future forward plans and things that you're discussing, and how you're going to divvy up the funds and all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, we're living in kind of the onset of the metaverse, and people want to use these things as profile pictures. And even just looking in the AlphaMint stages that we got now, we got a couple toaster heads down there, much like your own, which is amazing. And the second that people want to flex those pictures and have them as like a digital representation of themselves, like, I mean, I think you're onto something. So like, first and foremost, like, kudos to you for just launching great art.
It's interesting, isn't it? Right, like the kind of NFT world that we're in is how much that gets lost. Like, it's the reason we got into it, right? We're like, and it sounds like it's a weird kind of thing to even say. We want to create some awesome PFPs, and like
Yeah.
it's we know it's not a crazy thing to say, but if you said that to anyone outside this world, they just kind of go, "What the hell kind of ambition is that?" But yeah, like it absolutely was the focus. And then like you get, we're talking to you because there's some bunnies in your Discord that have our PFP. That in other Discord, someone this morning was saying they keep getting asked about their PFP in the V Friends Discord. Yeah, and that was always our intention, was that people should see what we've done and go, I want that. Now everything gets complicated by bear market, by floor price, by when token,
Yeah.
when this, when that, whatever. And we've been pretty good at just going, look, everyone is going to lose their shit here and there. That's the nature of the market. But we're going to be solid. We're going to be stable and steady. We believe in what we're doing. We're working every day, producing. Market will correct, and those that bought the dip are going to be very happy, and that's all you can do, really.
So you can't see this yet, but as we discussed, it's going to be recorded and put on YouTube. But I actually have a pretty long post that you made regarding the whole, like, when this, when that.
Yeah.
Yeah, from maybe almost 2 weeks ago now, and but
Yeah.
I read through it and I was like, spot on, and kudos to you. I mean, I'm not going to read it, but you addressed the topic eloquently, I would say, and again, we've talked about this ad nauseum in the past on the shows and even just in private, that like a roadmap can be great, but sometimes it's setting false expectations and whatnot too, right?
Totally.
And like you said, you just be patient. Like in the real world, none of this stuff happens overnight. It takes time to build games. It takes time to build art. It takes time to build contracts. And these are real people doing real stuff and have real lives too, right? And I think we get really swept up in that. We're talking about a bear market and NFTs that lasted 3 weeks, right? And that's ridiculous, because
Ridiculous.
I remember the bear market that lasted between 2018 to 2020, right? Like that was a real bear market. So it is really great when some people can kind of in really eloquent way kind of highlight the fact that like just chill the fuck out a little bit and let's have some fun, right?
Because it's the one. It's so funny too. Like I was so nervous to post that. I know it comes off as like confident and like, hey, this. I mean, it does, because like I believe it and I mean it. But you post it and you go, is someone going to take this the wrong way or whatever? But it really is. There's just a weird. I suppose it's because people are looking at their screens. It's just them. It might be in a Discord, but it's kind of generally themselves at home or at work or on the bus or whatever. And then I think the thinking becomes like super myopic in that it's just very narrow, and it's kind of like kind of lacking self-awareness a lot in statements and stuff. And like what I said in that comment was, one thing is when something's mooning or going really well, no one asks any questions.
Right.
There is no when. No one cares. So like Cool Cats, whatever, launched in, I'm probably going to get this wrong, but May or something like that. They said breeding. So we're 8 or 9 months later, and they're getting on to breeding, which is the pets thing, and it's awesome, right? But because they launched at a great time, awesome project, ridiculously talented team, tick all the boxes for everything. Great guys too. I've spoken to Tom and Evan. Great guys, and great floor price. Also, the other thing is, people forget, whatever time it was, maybe it was June, right? I was nervous about paying 0.4 for one. Right?
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
The myopic kind of thing is people just forget. They just kind of forget that Deadfellas 6 weeks ago, I bought a bunch. I bought 5 for 0.1 and 0.2. Right? So like, it's that kind of thing when people kind of come in and go, your floor price is like, well, when it was 0.1, they're like, it's 0.1. You go, yeah. Do you know your history of NFTs? Like that, a lot of other projects were 0.1 after being 0.5 and whatever. And so it really is that thing where, with that statement, we just wanted to say, look at your history. Look at what other projects have done. Consider, when you ask all of these questions of the project and put pressure on them, where are you asking them from? You're asking them from a point of nervousness at the market. And it's not necessarily all on the project. And particularly if you can I'll just say quickly, when token. I mean,
right,
again,
yeah.
Cool Cat's only getting to token now. Bay have said 2022. I don't see anything on Deadfellas, unless I missed it, about a token. But no one's asking them necessarily, because they don't need to. and it's that kind of thing. We're not morons for not already having a token out. Like, we're in good company.
Well, if you ever need some backup on history lessons, you are on stage with Uncle Free Market, who is like the
nice.
NFT historian. So you just call him over there, and he will he'll
guess
put on a clinic for them.
I I guess being around in this industry for 3 years makes you a historian, and not even 2 years and change
Man,
at this point. But yeah, it's just such a new industry that I guess that is considered history at this point. But um,
mate.
yeah, I want to dig into your roadmap. I think it's really exciting. When Bad Bunnies first launched, I think the focus then was the physical card game that's attached to it. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it and the progress on it?
Oh, look, absolutely. And this is also kind of like the frustrating thing is like what I'm looking at, and the development that we've done on that. Um, we're so close to revealing a bunch of different stuff around it, but it's kind of this weird. Uh, the physical aspect is that, uh, and we knew it before, but once you get into it, it has to be so precisely done because you're going to print thousands of these things. So it's kind of almost like we went, look, we want to go with a physical version first to work out what is this game, right?
Mhm.
And have the freedom that a physical game does to allow you to do that. And so you have that freedom, and it's proven dividends in that the game mechanics we have, there's nothing like it in the market. And if we translate that to digital, there's also nothing like it in digital. And but yet we are hesitant about revealing that stuff too soon and in parts. Like we're finishing off a whole bunch of work on that this week. I'm doing the cards up for printing now, and they look. I mean, I'm not blowing my own horn, but they look amazing. And
Toot
so
away, man.
it is.
Honestly, they do.
Yeah, but they've also kind of extended beyond what is out there kind of currently. More just in refining as the mechanics of the game have been defined. We're now like super clear. This is what the card should look like. This is what it's done. And then also what's been kind of cool is even just in printing. Like you start printing out tests, and you're like, well, in the thick of playing a game, that's too small. That needs to be moved wherever. And so it's a mildly frustrating aspect of this market in that we've basically produced a killer TCG game with varying levels of difficulty. Like there'll be beginner, intermediate, and advanced. I'll be able to play this with my 5-year-old daughter, like no problem. But they'll also be able to be like hardcore TCG people like playing this, and to produce that in a couple of months, at least the framework for it. We've probably got another month to get it into boxed format and kind of get it out. But to do that within that time is ridiculous. But it is that kind of thing. It's hard to release that information too soon. And so so we really want to show you guys, and we will soon. But we've still got maybe a week or two before we can. But it's one of the joys of the project is I just wouldn't have thought that we'd come up with a game that's kind of this good.
And is it going to be separate from the gamification related to carrots, or will it all
No,
like tie in? It's
see, that's the thing is that like we think we're doing pretty good in terms of the roadmap. In that, like, it's been 10 weeks or whatever, and people were saying like, okay, like, so what else is there coming and whatever, and we revealed just yesterday match fixing, which is our kind of evolution, and it's all tied into the game. Like, and we couldn't release a preview of it until we were sure how it was going to work within the game. So everything's connected. We're not just kind of throwing up, a digital. I shouldn't say throwing up. It's not that easy to do a kind of pixel game that you can, kind of play pretty quickly. It's that's very hard in itself. It's just we're not just as a project going, okay, so we're just going to do this and that goes out. We're just going to do this and that goes out, and so on. It's everything is connected within the universe of Bad Bunnies, and everything works together. And so this match fixing and evolution, you'll do it to your bunny NFT. It will then be present in the physical card and on the physical card marketplace. And it all kind of ties in. And, we think that if you get a good result on evolution on your NFT and it's present on the card in the NFT marketplace, that there'll be an ecosystem there where your NFT bunny goes up in value because it's connected to the card that has also gone up in value, that is desirable to play in the game, et cetera, et cetera. So that's kind of how we think of things. Everything's connected. It's a complex universe that we got there, and that's what we're trying to do as a project. And it takes time, which was part of the other comment that R2 talked about, is just saying, hey, people, we're working hard. It takes time. Trust us. When we reveal it, you'll love it.
That's amazing, and I love that. You're like going for this almost this feedback loop of everything is kind of adding value onto themselves, right? And I think that that's really important, especially just because we've kind of transitioned from NFTs just being like some art that people use as a profile picture, and there definitely is a demand for more, which you've definitely experienced when people are asking you about it. But yeah, I think that's cool, and I think that you're doing things right, just in the sense that you're saying we want this to be right, and we want this to be announced on our terms, so that we can just say, hey, look, we've figured this out already. This is what we're doing, rather than just some, coming Q1 of 2023, an entire metaverse game that your bunnies will run around in, right? Like, this is exactly what I would look for in a project that shows me that they've just kind of got their heads screwed on properly.
And like to Free Market's point before, just kind of about history or your point as well about history, is that once we become kind of more mature as a market, I think the general public within that market will also be able to make the kind of correct distinctions about what a project is and what a project isn't. And at the moment, it's all like, it's all the same as far as people are concerned. Why aren't you doing what Wolf Game is doing? And you're like, because we're a completely different project. Like, and I don't see too many people rocking a sheep profile picture. Like it's
they're not very PFP-able.
I've seen some people rock some wolf profile pictures, but not from the Wolf Game.
No, exactly.
Oh, shameless plug. Sorry.
No, man, go for it. And that's the kind of thing, is that you're just going to have and what they're doing is awesome. Apart from I worry that there may be a big downside for a whole bunch of people in the future, which I just don't know at this point. But you're just going to have different projects that have different focus. And if you take PFP projects like, say, Cool Cats, Deadfellas, Doodles, us, and you guys, and anyone else, right, is that we want to create cool art first, and the entry point's the PFP. After that, there's 100 different ways to go.
Yeah.
But that's just a very different project to Wolf Game or whatever. And you can make the kind of comment that, oh yeah, well, Wolf Game's making money hand over fist. You go, okay, good. It's an awesome idea, and I love it, but it's just a completely different project. It's like saying all of a sudden, the latest video game is making money hand over fist. You go, yeah, that's good.
Well,
good for them.
Here's one nerdy question for you, maybe. So, without a rush and anything like that, do you care about on-chain? Like, if you were envisioning your game, would you want it to be completely on-chain? I know we've seen, two.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I like hearing that. Great.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and we've been, and this is the other thing, is we're investigating everything as we move along. Like it's not, we've had initial chats with Immutable X, who their game Gods Unchained, they're in Sydney. I've spoke to one of the brothers who are the founders of that team. We've looked into Immutable X, where, you know, essentially once you go into like the digital game, you can mint the cards through Immutable X. It's a whole ecosystem within there, and absent anything else, that is likely, once we go into a digital version, likely the platform that we will use. And there's a whole marketplace there for digital cards as NFTs. So yeah. So you answer your question, absolutely.
Great. That's what I like to hear.
So
Yeah.
on the note of people you've had chats with, I do want to get into the Coinbase portion of your roadmap too, and I'm gonna defer to Free Market for this conversation because
Sure.
he knows the ins and outs of it. But real quickly, I do just want to give a shout out to Drip Cult. I don't know if you've seen him in your server or not, but he would be.
Yes, I have.
Yeah. Okay. Good. There. See, you're famous over there, my friend. But he, I'm seeing on your roadmap up on the community, you've got a little gang of the Balaclava bunnies posted there. He is the proud owner of an entire set of Balaclava bunnies, and he loves he loves
have
them.
A high floor. I was sitting there.
That's because Drip Cult bought them all. Like on it.
I know. I watch the floor closely, and I see a level 1 bunny, which are the floors go for 0.3. And I said, "Oh my God, did the floor go back up to 0.3 while I wasn't looking?" And it was Big Clout. It was a Drip Cult getting the. What am I even saying now? I'm drunk. It was Drip Cult getting that last baklava. I think the floor jumps to like 0.6 after that.
I saw that. It's just insane. Like
yeah. Good stuff.
Just quickly before we get onto Coinbase, is I saw a picture on Etsy of a balaclava that had like ears, and so I sent Pooply. I went, man, we've got to do that. Okay, so we do that. So it was just okay. We'll do balaclavas, like whatever. And then all of a sudden they're just so popular. And like I said to my wife, like who would have thought it? To us, it was just another trade. And she went, "What are you talking about? It looks awesome. Of course that was going to be like desirable." And it's like, I don't know. You just do these things, and then everyone runs with it. So yeah, it's pretty funny.
Those toaster heads are legendary, man. If people don't know, this is like the marquee NFT of the collection. It tends to get the highest price all around at every level. Those toaster heads are sick. I mean, that's good stuff.
It's so funny. I still remember the conversation. I got terrible coverage from my phone in the house, so I'm standing out in the street talking to Pooply. I was like, we got the assets down. Like we pretty much got the 250 assets down. What do we want to do that's like this piece that is just going to be crazy and people are just going to want? And I'm going to say Pooply said it first. I'm not sure, but I think he said, how about toasters or something? And I was like, well, yeah, you could have toast, you could have Pop-Tarts, you could have what? Steak? And we're like, it was just the dumbest conversation. And when I said steak, I just said steak. When he returned the first sketch of that, I was just kind of like, my God, like that looks so good. So there's with Evolution 2 coming, there's going to be, I think, probably one additional toaster head that's going to have a 0.01% chance of genning if you try and evolve your bunny. But there's going to be a new one with 2 extra things sticking in the toaster that's kind of even more ridiculous than a steak. So that's going to be pretty good. But look back on the Coinbase if you have any questions, Free Market.
Well, I think the only I think there's a few projects that have what I like to call the look. Bad Bunnies. Like I know you guys were courted by Cartoon Network before you decided to go the NFT direction, and you guys kind of just have the look. So I think Coinbase is one of those obvious gets for you guys. The problem right now is that they are being very strict about DeFi related NFTs. They actually put out a notice saying absolutely no token or ERC20 of any kind attached to the project, nor could you fractionalize NFTs. So for any of the DAOs, the head DAOs of the world, no fractionalizing and releasing tokens.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I know you guys just put in, you guys had actually put in your application with them a while ago. I was just wondering if you're concerned about that and how
Yeah,
you're.
look, I mean, how's that going to work? I mean, so I hadn't heard that yet, and we haven't our token is still early stages.
Right,
I mean, I don't know how Cool Cats are going to deal with that
right,
because they've been announced, and when they were announced, they had milk.
right.
So I'm not sure that there may be some stipulation, but you know, we're still a little bit off on token. Like, you know, we're working on it now, but like with anything, again, it doesn't happen overnight. So look, I'll have to check in with them. The only thing with Coinbase is that I know from product design and working in big organizations that have to produce this stuff that there's so much to do. They'll be working crazily to get this up because they want to supplant OpenSea.
Somebody's got to do it,
All I can
honestly. Holy shit.
no, totally. And all I can say is that the process is about as slow as it gets. Like, we've had 2 email back and forths with them in 3 weeks. Uh, yeah, I think 3 weeks. I think that was the first one. And so it's just, a lot of dead air in between that. But it's moving. I just imagine that based on that, it's going to be slow for everyone. And like we were chatting before, um, Deadfellas announced like a month ago or something that they were going to be listed on Coinbase, but there's hasn't been any announcement from them yet, and whatever. It's just going to be a slow process for everyone. The only thing I'm happy about is, one, there's going to be a competitor to OpenSea, and two, we're in the mix and we're talking with them and moving forward. The rest of the time frame is on them, really.
Yeah, and it
So
sounds
I
like
got
based on our sorry, free market, on our kind of earlier conversation that you've had some really good dialogue with them in those few emails. So we're definitely all looking forward to that.
All I can take from the last email from them was looking forward to working with you, exclamation mark.
Love
All
it.
I can take from that is that we're moving along, and I said to them too early on, just in my initial kind of um, push to them, hey, Bad Bunny should be on Coinbase, was that if you guys launch and everything is like 1 ETH, your market is just going to go, well, what the hell? Someone not used to NFTs is going to go, what the hell? Like, you need some entry level
Yep.
projects that haven't gone over 1 ETH yet, so that people can go, okay, cool, I like the look of that. I'm going to get in on the ground floor. And if you don't have people getting in on the ground floor, you've missed the entire point.
Yeah, there. I
And
mean, we
and
have
so
we have lots of NFTs sitting in our collective wallets. I'm sure that. I mean, personally, I'm not ready to write off yet because the second that they list on a Coinbase,
totally,
like why not? Why wouldn't a .01, which on OpenSea might as well be left for dead.
yeah,
There's a large user base that is ready to dip their toes into the NFT water, and certainly their first purchase is not going to be a mutant ape or anything, right?
totally. And look, one super important point I'll make is that we intentionally went after minnows as our market, right? Is that um, you know we want to kind of be the cause for generational wealth change, and for it not to just be a whole bunch of whales kind of coming in and using us to pad their own wallets. And what you get with that is, when you get into a bear market and things are difficult and gas is ridiculous, that matters to people who don't have all the money in the world. And yeah, it does become this thing where that's our focus, that's our community, that's us as well. We're not whales ourselves, so it really is the focus of our community is lifting everyone else up. And you're going to have these periods currently where things are down, and it affects us as a community more than it might someone else. And we want more of those people coming in. We want to be the cause for more generational wealth change for more people, not less. So, that's where we are as a community, and that's what we're trying to do.
That's great stuff.
And look, I think that's also kind of potentially another point to the humanity of the project. I've got my 10-month-old son crying now. I think he's just woken up from a nap.
Yeah.
So,
no, I think I feel that with Bad Bunnies. There's just so many low effort, quickly slapped together Fiverr projects, and this is good art and a good project. So it's really great to have you on and chat about it, and it's really exciting. There's so much unfolding now over the next few months between the Coinbase NFT. You guys have your roadmap, so really looking forward to the weeks and months to come.
Yeah, so are we. And look, it's just such an enjoyable conversation. I always start these things with a little bit of nervousness of like, I've got to talk and whatever. And this was really fun and really easy. And I'd love to chat again.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to get you up into the Moon Lounge too to come hang out with us, because honestly the conversation in the DGen Dojo is basically just like this all the time, with some little tidbits of alpha sprinkled in there for everybody to have some fun with too. So yeah, like Free Market said, love to have you on here again, and we appreciate your time so much. I know, like I said, AlphaMint's a big fan of yours, and anything you need, just reach out to us.
Absolutely. Look, thanks guys, and thanks for everyone for listening. It's been great to be here, and I hope to come again.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, thank you so much.
See you guys. Bye.